Hello friends, welcome to my channel on UGC NET Paper 1 Teaching and Research Aptitude. Please subscribe and like my channel. Thank you. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are doing well. Today we are taking another topic, very important topic in fact, that is communication. If we look the paper from previous year, we find that 2 or 3 questions have been asked from this area. So today we will discuss the communication. Let's go. When we talk about communication, communication is the word that comes from the word communis, which means common. Means hereby that communication is basically developed on the basis of the common ground of understanding. The factors which involved in the communications are communicator or the source of communication, the receiver, the content of communication, and the manner of communication. In brief, we can see that communication is the process of passing information and understanding from one person to another. Now coming on the features of the communication, it is the two-way process. It may be verbal or non-verbal. It is having the circular flow and it is always goal-oriented. We will see that how the features will be cleared by the help of the communication process. Let's look the process of communication. Now this is the process of communication. Communication starts with sender. Means when one person wants to transmit a fact or idea or opinion to the other person, that is receiver. This fact idea has meaning to the sender. The next step is to translate these facts or ideas into the language which can be understood by the receiver, and this process is known as encoding of the message. The encoding process basically influenced by the content of the message, by the familiarity of sender and receiver and other situational factor. Then comes the next step is to select the channel of communication. Channel of communication means that which mode we are going to send our message, whether it may be telephone call. You can send the message by the help of telephone call, by help of email, by the help of letter, or by the help of notice, by the help of memos. The various methods through which you can communicate with the receiver. After the message received by the receiver decodes the message. That means the receiver translates the message into the meaningful terms, and ultimately on the basis of his interpretation of that message, he gives his feedback to the sender. So this is the communication process. So we can see that it is the two-way process, means that without sender and receiver the process cannot be complete. So it is always a two-way process. It is having the circular flow. It is the goal-oriented process because there is a certain goals in the mind of sender, that what he wants to communicate with the receiver, and the receiver act accordingly. So it is very important that the receiver must decode the message in the same terms as the sender wants to be or intended to be. Many times what happens, that sender wants to send a message to the receiver, but receiver wrongly perceive the message or wrongly interpret the message, wrongly decode the message, and here arises the communication gap. Let's take the example. For example, that you want to communicate, just take example that Mr. A is there, he want to communicate with B He want to ask that whether B is free to have a lunch today. Now, he has to look after that how to encode the message. He want to communicate with the B. But the thing is that how to communicate. So first of all, he has to encode the message. He has to find that how we translate this message, in which language we are going to communicate, whether translate the message in Hindi or any symbols or any kind of script or English or any language. Then once the message is encoded, then how to communicate, whether communicate through calling on the mobile, whether communicating through email, whether communicating through SMS, WhatsApp. These are the communication channel. Now B received the message, then he decoded that what A wants to say, and B decoded that A wants to have lunch that day. Then he gives the response. If he is free, he will say yes, I am free and we can have. So if he say yes, I am free, we can have, this is the feedback to A. So this is the example that how the communication process going on. Now coming on the basis of this process, we are having the important elements of communication, that is sender. The person who conveys the message is known as sender. Second is encoding. It is basically a process of organizing the idea into the series of symbols that includes language, words or sign, etc. Third is your channel. Communication channel means that it is a medium through which the message is passed to the receiver. Then fourth is receiver himself. Fifth is decoding, and last is your feedback. So it may be noticed that feedback confirms that the receipt of the message by the receiver. Feedback may be simple as a phone call from the prospective receiver expressing interest in the business proposal, or it can be a form of letter, it can be verbal, or it can be non-verbal too. Now here the very important point comes here, that is the problem of noise. While the message is encoded and sent to the communication channel, there are certain noise are there which exist. Noise are there that exist during this communication process. And noise, what is noise? Noise is basically, what is noise? You will see that noise is basically the disturbance that affect the effectiveness of communication. Right? For example, if a person is talking over the phone to another person and there is a noise around him, he will feel great difficulty in listening to the person at the other end. So noise can even affect the voice of the sender of the message too. It is a sort of interfering sound in the communication process anywhere along the way from the sender to the receiver or vice versa. So it is basically what? It is basically the interfering sound. See you in my next series. Have a great day.